Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, War Rabbit, and today we're going to be going over some tournament lists from the weekend. This weekend we had, I think, a small amount of tournaments, but a large amount of larger tournaments as well. So like some almost like super major levels. So the first tournament we're going to get into is the Dirge Doom 3 UN Steel Chainsword. I believe it's 50 players. Yeah, it's 50 players. Like normal in my tournament reviews, I'm coming at this from a Tau player mindset, not really a generalized like how much to trying to win tournaments, just trying to understand the meta from a Tau perspective. So first list, this is the guy that came in first, Colin Power from, it looks like Tryhard Wargaming. He's ran a Chaos Knights list. He looks like Jesus Christ, basically four 0-1s due to most likely challenger cards. We got some Death Guard, World Leaders, Chaos Team. So some of the stuff I'd think are going to be start coming at the top. So his list was pretty simple, just 5 knights, stat check, and Chaos Knights. Obviously, he's got all. I don't know too much about Chaos Knights. I should probably just read the codex and just sit down and do it. But it's kind of obvious. 3 melee knights, all basically the same loadout, just with 2 enhancements, 1 regular, and then you've got 2 shooty knights with the despoilers, one with thermal cannons, the other one with Gatling cannons and flamers, and then both with melting guns. So you have a anti-infantry shooting knight, anti-tank shooting knight, 3 melee knights, and then some Wardog carnivores. They're just going to run around, smack things. And yeah, it's just going to be kind of difficult to push. If I was a Tau player, obviously, like right now, into just any form of knights list right now is just really a struggle. Like you can just spam hammerheads and sky rays and just hope you can, because like the goal is to shoot down 3 of the big knights and just deny the other 2 on scoring if they're taking a 5 knight list. And I'm pretty sure just always take assassinate and bring it down so that you can just guarantee at least 30 to 40 points a game. So now we're going on to from him to an actual Tau list. This Tau list, I believe, came. Where is he? He's in the top 32 of the 50, if I'm not mistaken. Where is it? Did I go by him? Does it say his? Okay, it's oh my gosh, do I have 2 of the? Sorry, here we go. Connor Crowley. I don't know what placing he went into. My mistake. I'm clicking all the wrong buttons. Okay, here we go. He came in 17th. I knew he came in 17th. My bad. Just kind of choking there. So he ran something a little interesting. 1990 points because Tau's got wonky points costs, but he's running Ret Kadra. So Ret Kadra is kind of interesting in that it's probably our worst attachment right now in Tau. And if you actually look at it, so he's running a Commander and Cold Star with Infernal Grenade Racks. What do you expect? He's just gonna and then he's just gonna throw them on the board, run over things, try to do mortals in the movement phase to try to do some more chip wounds before gunning him down. And then you have him with a Starfire Ignition System. I forget what that does, but I'm pretty sure Starfire Ignition System. Let's just look it up real quick. Wapedia. Thank God Wapedia exists. Where is my search feature? If Wapedia exists, I'd be a worse player. Yeah, I don't run Ret Kadra a lot, unfortunately. So sorry, what's his name? Connor Crowley. You clearly know more than me about this, but yeah, I personally wouldn't have taken that list from what I saw, but it's still a great list. Oh, I'm past it. Here we go, Starflare. Oh, he can uppy downy. Okay, so that's actually pretty good. Makes sense, because you want to uppy downy this guy and then just have him constantly deep striking. Preferably within 6, but that's pretty expensive for a strat. And then you just run an ethereal for command point generation because you just need it. There's just nothing you can do really. As Tau, we're very command point hungry. So you got your Star Scythes, Hover Drone. So one thing I found was that he's only going 1 shield drone each instead of double shield drone. So he's just trying to max out damage on the Star Scythes. So that's pretty cool. Next thing, Crisis Star Scythes. It looks like these are the 2 things he's going to be putting into the commanders. I don't see any of the crisis suits. The commanders are going to go in this one and then this one. They're the exact same list. Or excuse me, unit profile. So double flamers. The commanders aren't running flamers. They're running cyclics, high outburst, double missile pod, triple missile pod. So yeah, that's kind of weird. unless I'm missing something. But I guess I understand it because you already have the anti-infantry from the Flamer, so that should be fine. Sort of double ghost keel makes sense. You're at Cadre, and you got 2 hammerheads, railguns. Yep, you need the anti-tank. It's going to need it, and then you got Kroot. Kroot really good. He's not running any infantry, so he's going to need things to throw on the board. And Kroot are the cheapest options. Then you have a far stalker for infiltrate, so you can just throw them on the board and then infiltrate them forward to deny any pre-game moves and stuff like that. Piranhas are always good. Just 2 seeker missiles for 60 points is extremely efficient, especially when it can do guiding and it's surprisingly durable for what it is. Double Riptide, yeah, makes sense. I wouldn't. Double Riptide's just really good, especially in Ret Cadre when you get closer. And he's going twin plasma over Smart Missile, and that kind of makes sense because Smart Missile tends to be a lot better in Kalyan. So twin plasma makes sense. And he's running 3 stealth teams. Stealth teams are good in Ret Cadre, so I understand it. But personally, I probably would have dropped 1 stealth suit, but he's already down 10 points, so it's kind of a struggle. But yes, this is okay. It's trying to evolve the Ret Cadre formula. I just don't know how Ret Cadre is going to be in a better spot. Yeah, congratulations, man. You went 17th. That's amazing. And I think a 50-person tournament, you're better than 50% of the players that went there. So congratulations, Connor. You did a great job. So now we're moving on. This is a larger tournament, CQ Exterminatus 2025. And this one's pretty much indicative of what style is going to be going up to, I believe. Yeah, 40-player tournament. Wasn't as big as the previous tournament, but it's still pretty big. So I believe we're doing the Death Guard first. Let's see if I got the list up. Yes, we do. So instead of he's going Champions of Contagion. From my understanding, the primary list is going to be Mortarian's Anvil. Remember that name, right? Oh my gosh, what is going on with my mouse? Technical difficulties every single day. Story of my life. I wonder if the Death Guard Codex is in Wikipedia. Because unfortunately, I just know what the Codex is like. I don't know what everything is. Okay, so Contagion, Varroan Vectorium. Okay, yeah, Mortarian's Hammer. There it is, not Anvil. I had it mixed up. Normally you go Mortarian's Hammer. I'm going to keep calling Anvil now because you just do stuff. You can make them afflicted and stuff like that. It's very interesting stuff. I am going to have to read through this codex on my own because I don't really know how it works. I just know what units they're taking and what to target because it's pretty obvious just from watching people play and stuff like that in my own experience. But obviously, I don't know exactly what Lords of Contagions. I just know that they can go into things. Same with the Tallyman. But yeah, you got Chaos Spawns. I believe they got Scout. I could be wrong. Let's see. Chaos Spawns. Come on. Okay, well, never mind. Oh, I'm clicking all the buttons. There we go. Man, I'm just terrible at this whole trying to be efficient and understanding game. My apologies. Let's see. Yep, Scout 6. It's your Scout. It's a good. That's gonna work. That's why it did work. And then you got obviously the core of the list: 3 Death Shout Terminators. You're slapping the Lords of Contagion in there, and then I think you can put a Lord of Virulence in a Death Shout Terminator. The Tallyman and Typhus. I think the Tallyman can actually attach into. Let's see. Can they attach? Tallyman. What can you attach into, buddy? And Plague Marines. They're just on the board. Where are they just walking on the board? Are they? Okay, yeah, they're just foot slogging. And then obviously the core is the Death Shrouds. And then you got the Feta Bloat drones, and then triple Feta Bloat drone with Blight Launcher, triple Mephitic Blight Hauler, and Poxwalkers. As like last week I've shown, Feta Bloat drones and Mephitic Blight Haulers are basically just mini dreadnoughts that are way points efficient. I don't see them getting away without getting like a 10 to 20 point bump. It's gonna suck to be a Death Guard player, I'll tell you that much, when the nerf hammer comes, because oh boy, is it gonna hit you hard. But yeah, congratulations, Gaben Boob. You won this tournament. And now, second place, which I know, I actually looked at this list prior to really making this video, is Robert Logan. I believe he came in second. Technically, I think it's because he just scored worse. Yeah, he just had a lower scoring than the first place guy. But his list is a variation. I think there's 2 variations of these types of lists for crew hunting pack. So the original crew hunting pack is just swarm the board with as much crew as possible, forgo all Tau units. And his list is kind of done a little bit opposite, where instead of swarming the board with crew, you're just bringing 18 guerrillas. And that's your real crew army part of the list. So you're running a crew warshaper, you're throwing them in the carnivores, you're running triple hammerhead for your anti-tank, and then you've got 3x6 crew tox rampagers. So most crew hunting pack lists are taking 18 guerrillas because that's what you have to do, because the guerrillas are actually pretty nuts. Like, I doubt most people even know crew tox rampagers have grenades, and they have a special strat in crew hunting pack for grenade units, which you're never going to use because it kind of sucks, but you know, it's still there. So that not only do they have mortals in the shooting phase, they also have mortals on the charge, and then they do a ton of damage. So one of these guys can probably dish out 400 points of damage in a single turn. They might even be able to kill like a fully buffed up knight in a single turn. That's how much damage these guys do. And that's not even the fact that they're a counterpunch unit, where if you say you have like Lionel Johnson and then what are they called, the inner circle champions with the Judiciary in them. You have the inner circle champions charge in with fights first, then you have lions, and then you just you counteroffensive one of your crew rampagers, and you can just kill one of those squads, like either lion or the inner circle. You'll lose a crew tox rampager, but you're going to pick up like 300 points of their army in return, and then they're open to the rest of your shooting. Did I miss something? I think wasn't there Sky Rays? Yeah, here we go. Then you got crew tox riders. They're just little auto cannon dudes, repeater cannons. They do okay. They're just kind of there. They're 90-point dudes. 3 of them. I think they're just relatively durable for what they are. And you know, crew hunting pack, they're getting up that 6-up invul and the 5-up in combat, and their fists hit pretty hard. Sky Rays, obviously, they're our best anti-tank. I think that they statistically are better than hammerheads into pretty much all targets, but hammerheads just have that big punch. Then you got triple stealth suit. You're taking triple stealth suit because 1, they're good. You need forward deploy, and 2 in this list, and 2 because obviously the guiding is important, but you don't really need to guide after 1 or 2 turns because you're just going to be shooting with the Sky Rays, and then the Sky Rays themselves are going to run out, because once the stealth suits die, it doesn't really matter that you need them, because hammerheads are pretty self-sufficient, and I think the Sky Rays and hammerheads shooting into tanks is going to be more than enough to take them out. And then also you have to deal with 18 guerrillas. Right, you got 18 guerrillas, and they're, what is this? That is 9 dads, you know? So you have basically the entire crew genealogy coming onto the field, and then you have 6 tanks that are in the backfield being idiots, and you have the crew tox rampagers run up, and you're gonna get in the way to shoot them. And if you're gonna need some actual heavy anti-infantry, even heavy like elite infantry firepower, and if you're in the open with that, hammerheads are going to shoot you to pieces. You're going to get completely gunned down by the Sky Rays. It's a very brutal list. I think this list and the Crew Hunting Pack Oops All Crew lists are probably the best Tau lists. And there's very few things in the meta right now that counter it. And I think one of the bigger ones that does is World Leaders, because they just say, okay, I don't care. I'll pick up your whole squad of melee, because that's exactly where I want to be. But yeah, congratulations, Robert Logan, for going second. And again, Gavin Bube, Bub. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but yeah, congratulations both of you guys. You guys are fantastic. Now we're going over to Goonhammer. It's another situation of I have 1 list for the Tau, 1 list for Adeptus Sororitas. I have a Sisters Army, but I don't really looked at the Codex, so I've just been making my own little thing. But yeah, Hollowed Martyrs. If you know what Hollowed Martyrs is, it's pretty simple. You got Juno Thoretta for CP. Morvenval goes into most likely either she might be by herself, but most of the time they don't take her. Oh, it's got cool little names for all of them. Yeah, Paragon Warsuits. Celestial Sacrosanct, they're going to be, I believe, the Magifier can go in there. Same with the Canoness. You got Sisters Novitiates. I believe they have Scout. I'm saying a lot of belief stuff. I probably should. Mortifiers, they're the coffins. You got, what was this, 3 coffins. They're big beefy boys that can just run up and kill things. Castigators or tanks are shooting things. Immolators, do they have a sister squad? Yep. You use the immolators to break the sisters into 5-mans, and then they're able to move around. So yeah, it's a pretty punchy list. Through suffering strength, I need to actually read these lists. I know what the models do. I don't know what the stratagems and stuff on this stuff is. So I'm going to be doing some reading over this week to figure out, because I've been seeing sisters, knights, and death guard are probably the 3 big bads of the current meta, with like some offhands of like world eaters and dark angels, and maybe even T-Suns and a sprinkling of chaos demons. Those are the main meta threats at the moment. I saw like an Eldar, what was it, Warlock Conclave, if that's the right one, where it's just like guardians that are like immortal guardian squads with some extreme psychic shenanigans. So that can be pretty interesting. But yeah, congratulations, Jeffrey Kolodner. Man, dude, I need to learn. What am I doing with my life, man? I'm freaking can't even pronounce these things, dude. But yeah, congratulations, man. You won the tournament. And this was a huge tournament too, if I remember correctly. 200 something. Oh, 36. My bad. That was the next tournament. I really overhyped that list. I guess. No, I'm kidding. He did a fantastic job, anyways. So now we're going to experimental prototype cadre with Noah Keith, I believe. Let's see, where did you come in? I think you came, yeah, 7th place on him. So we got a cadre Fireblade. He's going to be going into your breachers. And you got a commander in Cold Star. He's either by himself or in a crisis suit. Most likely he's going to be in Fire Knives, because he's got 4 missile pods. And he's got a breacher team on their own. He's only got 1 Devilfish, so he's most likely either reserving one of those breacher squads, or he's starting him on foot, because experimental weapons cadre have a little bit more range, so he can use this for a little bit of screening. I don't really know about on foot breachers. Every time I played them, they don't work. So he came in 7th, so he knows what he's doing. But yeah, it's just hard. Like, cause like, look at this, cadre Fireblade's 50 points, man. Like, it's just like, swap that out. Let's see if he has Devilfish. Yep, broadside, double broadside. This experimental cadre, right? Heavy rifle, twin plasma. I understand the twin plasma, because it's just, I believe it's just 1 shot though with full rerolls to wound, because they're twin linked. And it's like, is 1 shot really that important? Like a single Thunderhammer swing, is that better than just more missiles? Because you get 3 shots versus 1, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, if you're targeting a tank, a twin plasma rifle is technically better than smart missile systems, but the smart missile systems can now split fire more efficiently. So at least in broadsides, I think no matter what, the SMS are just better. Yep, Crisis Fire Knife, you're putting that, you're just window slamming your commander. See, okay, no double shield drones. So yeah, these are crisis suits 4 wounds without shield drones, right? They're only 4 wounds, right? Are they not just 4 wounds? Like, I'm like, am I just oh, sorry about the flashbang. I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, they're just 5 wounds with without that. Huh. Yeah, that's because they don't have invuln. They're just T5 idiots with 5 wounds. That's only 15 wounds to go through at T5 on a 3-up save. Like, that kind of just seems awkward, in my opinion. I don't think it's super amazing. Maybe because, like, obviously he did well, but that just feels really weak, because they don't have a 2+ save like the broadsides. They don't have the toughness either to fight on that board. Because, like, I all honesty, like, a commander, so that's 95, and then you have the crisis team, which is 130. That's 225 points if I did my math correctly. And it's just a lot of nothing, you know. Like, yeah, obviously you're gonna be doing pretty good because you got the extra range, then you get the extra toughness and whatnot. But yeah, it's something. Now we got 2 ghost skill battle suits. Obviously you need some sort of forward deploy, and then he's got a Pathfinder team, so it's like, so 2 ghost skills, they're good, especially in this specific detachment, because they're actually getting that 6 inches extra range, so they can shoot outside of, they can shoot further outside of their low knot bubble that they give themselves, and these guys are basically the Tau's version of a Rogel Dorn, not like the damage wise, but the durability. So these guys are, I think they're gonna, with, because I want to say Riptides are still better, but I think these guys are gonna start coming out more and more. Like normally you have like one, I could definitely see 3 Ghost Keels instead of 3 Riptides, but those Ion Cannons are just so much better than the Ion Raker. So I'm like, you need damage 4 AP infinity to get them onto their 4-ups when they're in cover. So it's just one of those things where it's like, if the Terminator menace of Death Guard goes away, I think Ghost Keels are going to come out in full force. Hammerhead gunships, you need anti-tank, and they're the second best, if not the best, Pathfinder squad. They're just good damage now, and they just give a decent spot. Lone Pathfinders I'm not really sold on, but Ion Rifle, it's basically like if you had a Kasserkin squad that could scout 7. So it's good, I think. It's basically just a Tau version of a Kasserkin squad, or like a what are they called? Why am I blanking? Tempestus Scions. That's okay. So double Piranhas, that's always good, because 2 Piranhas is better than 1, and especially in Cyberpunk with the weapons cadre, where you can drop a command point that just uber buff their damage. That makes 4 Seeker missiles with sustain. I think you can get sustain and lethals on the same unit, but they'll get oh my god, hazardous tests. Why am I just forgetting all the keywords right now? It's ridiculous. My brain's just blowing up. But yeah, hazardous tests, and you throw that down and you just get uber buffs on those 4 Seeker missiles, and that might actually do serious damage to some big units, especially knights, because if even like 2 of those go through, that's like a min like 6 damage. So that's a lot to a knight, especially if you can somehow get them to like get them half health and get them to be lowering their ballistics and weapon skill. That could be pretty bad. I think it's just ballistic skill, not weapon skill. And then single Piranha, again, Piranhas are just good for being little idiots. They're 14-inch move. Single Skyray, I don't know about that. I think the list is a little short on anti-tank, especially into the current knight meta. And yeah, triple stealth suits is pretty good. Yeah, I don't see enough anti-tank in this list to actually take care of knights. Like the double broadsides is nice, but that's not strong enough. I think Skyrays and Hammerheads are like, you need at least 2 of each going into the current meta, because Hammerheads do enough to just completely neuter a tank or a knight if it gets through. But and then Skyrays can finish it off, and then Skyrays just in general have their own decent shooting on their own, and they can act as a marker light. Broadsides can't do that, but they do also have a lot more damage. Yeah, this is experimental weapons cadre, so they do have a lot of spiky damage because of the strats, but you kind of like are burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, due to all the hazardous you throw on your units. See, like if you just dropped one of the breacher teams, right, the lone breacher team on foot, and you drop one of the stealth suits, you could fit like another Skyray. You know, maybe even you can fit a Skyray just with that, and then like if you drop also the Cadre Fireblade, you could get like Dark Strider for the Pathfinder. So that's like one way I'd change the list myself, but this list is okay. It's not terrible. It did well. Yeah, it's just I just see it the second it goes up against like a big oops all big knights list, you just kind of get stomped. Okay, so congratulations, Noah Keith, you did pretty well as well, going into 7th. Let's actually see what your loss was. Does it tell me? So you lost in the final against, oh, he lost against the guy that won the tournament. Yep, and his one loss was against the guy that won, and then he had a draw at 79. Let's see what that one is, against Daniel Bradkovich. Oh, he's just having a bad time against Sisters of Battle. Holy crap. Yeah, sorry, Noah. Like the 2 times he loses, he goes up against Sisters, or like that gets a close tie and then a loss. He just gets stomped by Sisters. Yeah, I guess his list, if you're going up against Sisters, just understand you're not going to do well. But yeah, anyways, let's move on. I believe the largest tournament this weekend was the Leeds Super Major. So unfortunately, the Leeds Super Major, I'm not looking at the tournament winning list because I guarantee you it's been looked at to death. Josh Roberts, from my understanding, this list is really good, but there might be, again, there's always more controversy in these type of tournaments. I think the final game of his was kind of sketchy. I could be wrong. There's some controversy about this, so I don't know the exact rankings, but yeah, we did have one person that's kind of popular in the Tau community show up. Kind of popular. He's popular. So we got basic Pure Tide program, Kyle Grundy, basically one of the best Tau players on the planet coming into this tournament. He came, let's see, 58th. So not a horrible showing from him out of 285 players. And I think he took kind of a list I personally wouldn't take, but he did well with it. He did a lot better than me doing what I call like Tau good stuff. So let's just go through it. So we got double Enforcer Commander. Makes sense. You're trying to save points. Cold Stars are fun, but they're costly. Strike Swiftly. So it looks like he's starting one of his... he's either starting both on the board or he's just starting one. One shield drone, one marker drone. Okay, so he's not pushing that onto... He's not pushing that marking situation onto his... the unit. He's keeping it on the commander so that if no matter what, his crisis teams are going to be able to mark for something in the event they need to. So Strike Swiftly lets him scout move 2 units. Double Breacher Team, double Devilfish. So this is basically a core combo that I think is going to stay with us forever until 11th edition. But yeah, Devilfish are just really good. They're basically like big piranhas, and then you've got breachers that just pop out, and then the Devilfish spot for them, and then they just gun something down. And if it's on an objective, just prepare to be deleted. So double fire knife, missile fire knives makes sense. It's Monka. These guys are basically like quote unquote like your pseudo broadsides with missiles, like missile sides, but they do more output than a single one. So yeah, I'm having a falling out with crisis suits, but Enforcers will give them that 2-up save that they need, like the -1 AP, so they're effectively at a 2-up save when they're being shot by things with AP. And then they can get, excuse me. Oh my gosh. Sorry, it's a little late when I'm recording this. But yeah, and now here is something that I've been seeing more and more people do, and that's forego the anti-tank option on the Hammerhead and go for more anti-elite option, which is the Hammerhead gunship with ion cannons. These guys are basically trying to supplant the Riptide or add to the Riptide. Does he have any Riptides? No, yeah, he's just supplanting his ion, because you need Riptides to take care of Terminator bodies, because they just have so much shooting with the ion cannon that just does extremely well. Like if you fail a 4-up invul and you pick up a Terminator. So that's pretty big, especially in Death Guard when there's only like 4-man Terminators walking around and you're still wounding them pretty well, because like aren't Death Shroud like freaking like T7 or something like that. Let's see what the new Death Shroud look like. I'm pretty sure they're T6 or T7. I'm pretty sure they're just like insanely durable. Mother flashbang, I apologize. Yeah, T7. Why are they T7? They're tankier than a freaking broadside, dude. But yeah, if you shoot at a Death Shroud with one of these ion cannons on a Riptide, on overcharge kills them. But with these Hammerhead ion cannons, I believe are only 3+. So let's look. Ooh. Hammerhead. Another flashbang coming. Ooh. Let's just swap off that real quick. Let's see, ion cannons. Yep, 3. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure the Riptides are damage 4, but yeah, Hammerheads, ion cannons. They're switching off railguns to ion cannons because you have enough anti-tank with 2 Sky Rays and piranhas to shoot into these Terminators to actually pick them up, so you can fight into that Death Guard menace that we can't really do well into. And then also like just any and all Space Marine bodies basically are going to struggle into ion cannons. Crude carnivores, got your scout squad. They're just there to exist and die and be a roadblock. It's going to happen. And then triple pathfinders with ion rifles. Okay. I don't like ion rifles. I think no, hold up. My bad. I love ion rifles. I'm an idiot. I just immediately just thought ion was rail rifle. I'm like, I hate rail rifles on Pathfinders right now. They're just not that good. Ion rifles I absolutely love. My bad. These things are just triple plasma in each Pathfinder team, plus they're garbage other attacks that you don't care about. Maybe the automatic grenade launcher does something. Who knows? But triple plasma shots shooting into Death Shroud, you're gonna hurt them. Like they can't stop you from, it's strength 8 AP 2 damage, so you're going to be pushing them onto a 3-up save if they're in cover, so you're just going to be attacking into them pretty hard. Actually, hold up. They don't get cover, so yeah, it's just you're pushing them onto their 4-ups, and every 2 wounds that go through, they just lose a Terminator, and you know those guys are expensive compared to a Pathfinder squad. So this list feels like it's really targeting that death guard, but I can let's see what he lost to. I have a feeling he lost to Knights. Where is he? His second loss was to Ben Jones. It was a pretty Orcs. Oh, Jesus. Okay, yeah, that's an Orcs list out of left field. I feel bad for him. He caught that one, unfortunately. Let's see. Necron. So he just got hit with like off meta destroyers, and just that's the way it works. Let's see. Elliot Mitchell. I just want to see what list he went up against too. The anti-Scary. It's 100 points. Okay, so we got some memers that he went up against. That's amazing. Did he go up to any of the meta? Okay, so like the one quote unquote meta list would have been Custodes. He did not fight any. Jesus, he went to the largest tournament and he didn't fight any of the actual meta threats, and they all came in first, right? And look at this: Chaos Knights, Necrons, Death Guard. Yep. So yeah, that's crazy. Congratulations, Pure Tide program or Kyle Grundy, whichever one you want to go by. You did pretty good. It's just his 2 losses were just these complete dark horses that just he probably was not prepared for, and because like everyone going into this tournament is Death Guard, Knights, maybe Sisters, but definitely Death Guard and Knights, and then some Necron stuff, and just a smattering of Chaos Space Marines. But yeah, this is the current meta is interesting if you don't count Knights and mainly Imperial Knights, not Chaos. I don't think Chaos Knights are doing super well, but they're still doing decently. I think Chaos Knights are the more balanced of the two. But like Death Guard and Imperial Knights are a very lethal combination to have because they have such different play styles. Where Death Guard are this quote unquote middling toughness durability, while Knights are just, I have a massive stat check army. Did you bring enough anti-tank that's durable enough to survive me? And if you don't, you lose. And Death Guard is kind of the same, but instead of being super, if you bring too much high-powered anti-tank, you lose because they have more models that they spread, and that their goal is to get to you. So can you shut down Death Guard before they can get to you? And most of the time you can't. That's why they're doing so well. But yeah, so for Tau, again, I still think Crude Hunting Pack's probably the best. Crude Hunting Pack probably struggles a bit in the Death Guard, just because you flood the board. Like the flood the board Crude Hunting Pack lists struggle into Death Guard because Death Shrouds just have flamers on their hands, and you know there's just nothing you can do about that. And then I think probably the 2 data sheets that are going to start carrying the codex that they've been doing pretty much all editions, the Skyray and the Hammerhead. They're just too good right now. I think Skyray is a little better than the Hammerhead, and then I forgot. Obviously, you're taking 2 stealth suit teams. I think 2 is the minimum, as always. You take 1, and you struggle, and you take 3. I feel like right now it's a waste of points. Pathfinders, I think they're good. I think more than 1 might be a little too much, but this is like triple Pathfinder is such an awkward threat to deal with if you don't know they're coming, because they just pop up on the board and they're like, okay, well, I deployed myself in a manner that I can get a turn 2 just broadside in Monka, you know, with my Pathfinders, and then the rest of my army jumps forward as well. So there's there's some interesting play, especially in this list from Cal Grundy, and it's just too bad that he didn't get to go up probably against the things that he thought he was going to be going up against you, because like the missile pod crisis teams do really well into Terminators, obviously, and the Ion Hammerhands do really well in the Terminators, and the Pathfinders do really well in the Terminators, and the Piranhas do really well in the Knights. The Skyrays do really well in the Knights. The Hammerheads, although their Ion can still do double duty with the Knights if you're re-rolling ones to hit and wound with battle suits. So it's like, I feel like he just got he's like, oh yeah, but you also forgot about the rest of the game. But maybe I'm horribly wrong, and then like all this I'm just saying is just complete out my butt. And he's most likely got a video about that. So yeah, I believe it's Pure Tide Program. He's most likely has a video explaining this list, and I'd really recommend going to watch that, because this video is going to be done here in a second. But yeah, overall, again, I think the meta without the top two armies is probably really nice right now. And like if you look at the win rates for like Tau went from like a 40% to a 49 in one weekend. So I think we're going to start averaging out to about a 45 here in a few weeks. So I think I think the FTGG change was good, and I think we're going to slowly but surely start dropping back down from like a 49 to a 45, and probably slowly bottle out to like a 44 or 43 once people start getting used to us. Because like, I doubt most competitive players are prepared for 18 Crew Talks Rampagers, especially when they don't even if you put down a single 6-man Crew Talk Rampager and then you chart on your move phase, you throw grenades. The guys like those things have grenades, and that's 5 minutes of explaining to your opponent they have grenades type of situation. So it's just going to be one of those things that once more and more people are playing Tau and they're getting used to it, because most people are thinking, oh, it's just going to be crisis suits, and then you drop all Crute and like, oh, it's just Crute, and then they don't die because they're in Crute Hunting Pack. And I think of the two like auxiliary focused attachments, Crute Hunting Pack's probably the best. Yeah, overall, like, we're doing pretty good as a faction, and I'm pleasantly surprised, because last week I was a little skeptical, but it seems that my skepticism was poorly thought out. Yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the content, really appreciate it if you hit the like button. You know, sometimes obviously if I made a mistake, leave it in the comment section. It really helps me out a lot so I can learn more. Not really 100% perfect with Warhammer 40k like someone like what is Art of War or any of those other really big tournament players, but I'm still learning, so I would really love any tips or tricks. And then if you want to see more of my content, obviously hit the subscribe button, helps me out a lot again. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Have a great day.